This week, our vintage tiles found their new home and I can't wait to show you how they look. I've also been back at a job that's probably one of the most repetitive jobs I've done since we started our renovation. And we received a couple of new treasures to the manor. I've also got a really exciting announcement about our 2025 weddings that you won't want to miss. So make sure you stay to the end of the video to hear what that is. And don't forget, if you're enjoying our videos, make sure you hit subscribe on our YouTube channel, The Ladysmith Manor Diaries, to ensure you see all our videos when we first put them out. But first, let me show you what we've been up to this week.
The thing about grouting is that it gets so much worse before it gets better.
I think it looks better this way.
What with a nice kind of grey,
Black.
tinge on all the tiles.
Big smell.
Well, I think it's going to look great though with the dark charcoal grout with the white tiles. And once this is all cleaned off, we can actually see these beautiful vintage tiles rather than being kind of slightly dark. It's going to look lovely.
The white tiles are now kind of like vintage now.
Yeah, nicely smeared. It's really exciting to see these beautiful vintage tiles actually on the wall. And we have now finished putting the top pieces in, so they're mixed in with the white tiles. You can see that Stephen is still working on cleaning up the grout. He has a little bit of grout left to do on this side, and it definitely makes a big mess. But the end result, once it's all cleaned up, is beautiful. We've even got started putting some plug covers on, and it just changes the feel of this space completely.
So I've just finished one of the most repetitive jobs I've been doing since we started our renovation, and that is painting trim. And I've just finished this whole, I've done 10, and you'll see some of them are in the black and some of them are in this like kind of darker grey colour. These are going to go in the pub kitchen. The black ones are going around the doors, and Stephen is just measuring up to start cutting these. We have a couple up already, but these ones are ready to go. And then the grey ones are actually for the ceiling, and we're actually using them for a very simple crown moulding we're going to use. But we do have a question about that.
Okay, got a question for you. I got to put the trim up on the ceiling here. But we have two options. Option one
Is for the...
which I think brings the ceiling down a bit. I don't dislike it. But
Yeah.
the other option is putting it this way.
So it's
And
flat?
I kind of like this. It looks more like a shiplap kind of look.
Yeah, kind of, it frames it will frame the top of the ceiling, but it won't.
It gives the ceiling character and it cleans up the corners.
Yeah. So the big question is, what do you think? Do you think that we should do it the first way Stephen had it, which was straight down, so that's kind of the traditional crown moulding look, or do we do it flat on the ceiling so it kind of almost boxes the ceiling, which I think will be actually quite nice, because this in the kitchen here we want it to be quite simple, so it doesn't need to be too fancy, right? But we've decided to use the dark so it kind of complements the ceiling. So now all we need to know is what the answer to the question is.
Don't forget the numbers of the measurement.
No, if you don't talk to me.
Okay. Here's a black one. You cut that ready for the door. With the trim now up and a little silicone, I can then do the touch-up black paint and put some beeswax on the door, and it will then be ready to use. We even have our hand washing sink in. It's the tap is still going to be installed,
But the sink is there, so we're one step closer. We're adding the trim, which is what Stephen's working on right now. But it is really coming together and starting to feel like a kitchen. The kitchen is pretty much done. Like what? We've got a few finishing touches with our trim and stuff. But now that the structure is done, we have now ordered our kitchen equipment, which is coming. We've gone with all stainless steel in here because it's going to be our prep kitchen. And so what we've done on the floor is we find it really helpful to kind of not just visualize or imagine the spaces, but we actually mark it out so we can see and check that we've got enough space as we're working. So here is going to be our 2 sink, that's the right word, which is going to be here. And then we are actually doing a long stainless steel counter, which is going to have a shelf underneath that's going to go all the way along this wall, and that's why you'll see all these plugs, because these plugs have been put in specifically for the different equipment that we're going to be using in the kitchen. And then as you come around this corner, here you can see again, we've got another stainless steel unit with countertops that's going to be sitting here. So we can see now, if I'm washing up here, and then we're going to have the food prep space here so we can separate our food and our cleaning area. And then we're going to have a commercial dishwasher which has just got enough space on this end, which is going to be perfect. So the last thing we'll then have to do, and once we've got all our cabinets in, is we're going to then look at the shelving. So the plan is that we'll have shelving on all these walls to give us as much storage space as possible. But I think we decided that until we get our counters in and we kind of see where we're going to put things and how we're going to store, we'll wait and then we'll order those. But we are very, 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 very close to having a kitchen that will be signed off by the health inspector, which we've got lined up ready to go, and fire marshal sign off, which means that, dare I say it, we're getting really, really close to having an opening date for the pub.
As you probably know, I love new treasures for the manor. Sometimes we find them, sometimes they're donated to us, and I love sharing them on our weekly videos so that you can see them as well. And this week, I have this fabulous picnic basket, and Wendy donated this to us, and I think it might now be my favorite picnic basket. It's really big. It's got this lovely latch on the front with leather, and when you open it up, it's got this fabulous green gingham inside, and it's a fabulous size for picnics. And you know, we love our vintage picnics here at the manor, and I know I've had lots of people asking me about whether we're going to be hosting picnics again this year, and the answer to that is yes, we are. We did some picnics at one of our summer markets. They were a huge success. We just love packing up all the food in the basket and then taking our furniture outside and packing up the china teacups and the silver cutlery and just doing it a very proper vintage picnic. And so thank you so much to Wendy for this fabulous picnic basket. It will be very well loved and very well used at our picnics here at the manor. And then I was actually looking through and just reorganizing my office a little bit, and I came across a treasure that I actually got given at Christmas, and I realized I never showed you. And I just have to show you because it is absolutely one of my favorites. And this treasure actually came from Monica Chamberlain. Now, if you come to our summer and our Christmas markets, you'll know Monica is an amazingly talented artist. She brings her prints and her artwork, and at Christmas she always brings Christmas ornaments. Now, I think last year, 2022 was the first year, and they sold so quickly I never even got one. And I remember saying to Monica, next year, make sure I'm gonna make sure I get one, because I just love these. They're all hand painted and they're just gorgeous. So this year she came and gave me this one, and the thing is, this is actually a sandpiper. She was telling me it's the first sandpiper she's ever painted, I guess especially on an ornament. It's the only one she's ever done. And I just love it. It now has its new home in my office. I have it out all year. It is so beautifully painted. It obviously fits. We have the Sandpiper Suite, and obviously with the Sandpiper in Dorchester, it's just the perfect addition to the manor. And like I say, I realized that I never ever even showed you. So this is my Sandpiper ornament, which, like I said, I've got this little gold hanging piece that I have, and I now have this in my office because I've decided that even though Christmas ornaments are designed for Christmas trees, if you love an ornament, then why not have it out all year to enjoy it? With our 2024 weddings pretty much completely sold out, we are going to be releasing our 2025 dates tomorrow. And I'm so excited because not only are we going to be releasing dates for our Intimately Yours weddings, which, if you remember, are our small micro weddings, 2 hours, 20 people, very small and intimate here at the Manor. We are introducing a whole new package for 2025 because we had people say to us, you know what, we love the idea of having the all-inclusive, it's stress-free, we get the officiant and photographer and get to come to the Manor, but 2 hours is just not enough. We want to be there for longer. So what we have done is we have created a Uniquely Yours package, which will be released for the very first time in 2025. And it kind of bridges the gap. So you will now have the opportunity to be here for 3 hours. So it's still a micro wedding. It's still going to be intimate. It's still going to have all those stress-free package details. So everything's going to be included, but you'll get 3 hours and you'll get to invite 30 people instead of 20. So it's a little bit of a bigger wedding. It's a little bit longer, but it's still that uniquely intimate wedding here at the Manor, beautifully decorated with our vintage romance themes. We're going to be releasing one date in July in 2025 tomorrow, and that will be going out in our email to everyone on our email list. So if you're not on that email list, click the link in the description below and make sure you're on it to get that information first. And then we're going to be looking to potentially add some other dates as well. But we are so excited that this will allow us to have 3 wedding packages. We're going to have our Intimately Yours, which is our small elopement style wedding, 2 hours, 20 people. We're going to have our Uniquely Yours, which is 3 hours with 30 people. And we're going to have our Exclusively Yours, which is our big weekend wedding where you get the whole Manor for the weekend. You can invite up to 60 people and you get everything included. But all our wedding packages are designed to be stress-free and beautifully curated and just an intimate and very personal experience for you. So we are so excited to be releasing these dates and this uniquely new package that, like I say, it's going to be released tomorrow. So you are the first to hear about it. We've not talked about it, we've not promoted it. You are the first to hear, and I will be sending out all the information in our email tomorrow, and then it will also be posted on our social media pages as well over the weekend. But so if you're looking for a wedding for 2025, make sure you keep an eye open for that email and look at all the details. Don't forget, we also have our Grand Gatsby Murder Mystery Experience. We have almost sold out on the Saturday. We've got some tickets left on the Friday with a couple of tickets left on the Saturday. So if you're looking to come to that in April, the 19th and 20th, we would love you to join us. It's going to be such a fun evening. So make sure you head over and get your tickets. And we are so excited because next week, can you believe it? We're on episode 200. And like I said last week, we have some very special things planned for next week. We're going to have a contest where you can win a special prize. We're going to be looking back and having some really fun ways of looking at where we started and where we are now. So I can't wait for next week's video. So make sure you tune in next week to see what we've been up to. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of my coffee, get back to work, and I'll see you back here for our next episode of the Ladysmith Manor Diaries.